Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your unfriendly person Merc here, back with another week of the PGL. So we're gonna try and do the same thing as last week: live team build, live battle, and live win. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I saw some positive comments about the live team building, how it was refreshing, or something like, not those exact words, but it's nice. I know it's long. It's going to be long, but it's fun to give off the thought processes, and it's fun to try and challenge myself with a live build that's going to be good enough to get me a victory. So, yeah, that's something to consider. Anyways, this week we are going to be taking on... Let's just get nice and cozy, since we're gonna be here a while. Just messing with my chair. We are going to be taking on a good friend of ours, Redithan, or Ethan, coach of the Tennessee Tynamos. He was a part of the GPC last season, and he still is, even though we're no longer in it. I still have some of my notes and stuff from the week before. Anyways, his team is very, very scary, and he's a cool guy, so make sure to go check him out. He is the third best redhead we know, I think, something like that. Anyways, he has a very threatening team, almost as threatening as ours. Pheromosa, Thunderous Therian, Vaporeon, Mega Gardevoir, Serena, Salamence, Registeel, Excadrill, Gigalith, Scolipede, Entei, and Sneasel. So, as you can see, he has a lot. He's got a whole ton of threats, and he has a lot of things that just do us a spooky one, and we don't like that. But first thing I want to do is situate my mic in a way that's not going to mess with my typing, and I want to see how can he get rid of hazards, and how can he lay hazards up. So Pheromosa, not tap and spin, can learn rapid, let's just say spin. Pheromosa can spin, and let's just go over, I'm just going to put in general utilities that each mon does. So Thundurus offers no defensive utility to a team. Vaporeon can Wish Cleric, BP. Gardevoir can Wish and Cleric. I'm fairly certain it gets Heal Bell, but no one ever runs Heal Bell. This thing gets Spin. Salamence gets Defog. Registeel gets Rocks. Excadrill gets Rocks, Gigalith gets Rocks, and Scolipede gets Spikes, T-Spikes, and BP. And he can baton pass anything he wants. So he can set up a sub, set up a Sword Stance, Iron Defense, and get +6 speed, and legally pass it. So that's something that we definitely have to be afraid of. And definitely something we have to think about. So I really haven't thought about this match too much. I've been very busy, so I have not. Let's just kind of run down the list like we did last week of things that can do some work. Looking at it, Ash Gren has a very, very nice matchup, especially if he brings more offensive team, because what I'm seeing is that a lot of his more offensive, fast, frail Pokemon, like Pheromosa, Scolipede, to an extent, Entei, Excadrill in the sand, things that are going to try and outspeed me, even Thunderous Therian a little bit, are taking a fair bit from Water Shuriken. So I definitely think that Ash Gren is definitely something we want. Some of the roadblocks to that are going to be one of these three, I'd imagine. So Vaporeon can wall me pretty easily. Mega Gardevoir can wall me if he's a bulky set, and Serena can wall me with a specially defensive set. Registeel, I don't expect him, that would be his main switch in, since it doesn't have recovery, though he could try and Wish Pass into it. So that's a thing. So this looks like it has a pretty nice offensive matchup. Kieran Black, Kieran Black's interesting because he has a lot that can outspeed it. His Mence, his Gardevoir, his Thundurus, his Pheromosa, Excadrill in the sand, Scolipede, Entei if he's not running Extreme Speed and Flare Blitz, and Sneasel. So he has a ton that can outrun it. So I don't know if Kyurem's going to be the greatest bring this week, but I still think it has potential, so I have to think about that more. Xurkitree could be interesting, however, it still does get outsped by a lot of his team. though it could definitely wreak some havoc, especially on that main bulky core of Vaporeon and Serena and Registeel, because this thing has the ability to just completely dismantle all of that. Silvally. Silvally's, I'm not sure what kind of Silvally I'd want to run. It's definitely, but it's going to be in the back of my mind as a mon that could fill a hole. Nidoqueen, finally a mon that looks like it has a pretty decent shot against him. We can deal, it helps check the Pheromosa because it resists its dual stabs. It's only weak to Ice Beam. Nidoqueen's pretty nice. He has a lot that can hit it super effectively. However, we can definitely make use of Nidoqueen, and it... Wait, does he have a poison type? He has Scolipede, which could absorb Toxic Spikes, but Toxic Spikes could be pretty good in this match, since he does have a lot of mons that are weak to it, and I don't think Drill can that easily spin against me, and I can't imagine he'd want to run Defog on Mence, since it looks like a Dragon Dance set would do a lot of work against me. Tapu Bulu. He does not have a lot that likes to switch into Bulu, because Pheromosa is very frail, so that's going to drop to a Grass move. This thing can get Stone Edged, Grass move, Horn Leech, or something like that. Stone Edge, Fighting move, or just chip damage. Grass move, Stone Edge. So yeah, Bulu has a nice matchup. And I have an idea around that. There's one of the things I did think about. Let's look at Cobalion, though. Cobalion outspeeds a fair bit of his team, which looks really enticing. Oh, Magic liked my tweet. I liked one of his videos. Something like Shookaberry, or... Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Twitter. Shookaberry would be pretty good on Cobalion. It can lay up rocks, and it can put some offensive pressure on his team. And... I have a set in mind that could work. I'll think about it in a bit. Cofagrigus is a mon that I definitely think I need to bring, and part of a basically Cofagrigus is my best answer to the Pheromosa, as well as the Scolipede, both of which would be very big threats to my team. And overall, his team does not appreciate Ghost at all. So I think I have a set in mind for Cofagrigus, but let's roll down the list. I definitely think I bring it. Talonflame is interesting in this matchup. I think something like... He doesn't have a lot that takes on its dual stabs. That's really nice. So I definitely see a lot of promise in Talonflame. Mega Blastoise, he has a few ways to get up rocks, and his switch-ins are, once again, the same things they're going to be switching into Gren, most likely. So I could potentially run them both as sort of an overload core, which would be kind of cool. Alolan Golem, it's a maybe. He definitely has a lot that hits it hard, and Masquerain's actually kind of a threat to him, which is cool. But let's just kind of... Why is there a Buzzwole there? Let's just kind of go into things. So first off, I want Cofagrigus, and here's the set that I'm thinking about. Because two things about his team. One, his Ghost Resist is Sneasel, and two, his team is very, very fast. So what's a great way to counter a fast team? Not Trick Room. I definitely think Trick Room Cofagrigus has a nice matchup in this, and it definitely aids some of my slower Pokemon like Mega Blastoise and Tapu Bulu in this one. So I want to go Trick Room and Shadow Ball. And then I want... This is the tricky part, because do I want, like... I think setup is definitely going to be very good. Do I want Nasty Plot or do I want Calm Mind is the question. And what do I want as my fourth move slot? Trick Room Nasty Plot would be cool, but Trick Room Calm Mind definitely allows me to be a more solid wall all around, which I do like. So I definitely think that... Yeah, let's go with Trick Room Calm Mind for the moment. And last move... I want to go Pain Split, but I don't know how useful that would be in this game. So what would be Pain Split against? I guess the Vaporeon, potentially. Calm Mind. And Serena... Yeah, those are possibilities, and the Registeel to an extent. Yeah, I think Pain Split is what I want to go with, just because I get a little bit of health back. And I don't know what kind of exact set I want this. I'm just going to check, make sure that Pheromosa doesn't get anything that hits me too hard. So it gets Blizzard, that's interesting. I don't think he'd run that. Ice Beam, I could definitely see him running a Hidden Power to hit my Cofagrigus super effectively, since it's quite clearly a good stop to this thing. And this doesn't have that wide of a move pool. That's interesting. I mean, it's pretty wide, but it's not incredible. But obviously, Cofagrigus is immune to High Jump Kick and Focus Blast, and it's not taking much from a Bug Buzz or a U-turn. So that's one thing I really like about this. And I kind of want to go Semi-Room with this, because there's a lot of Pokemon on my team that really benefit from the Trick Room, including my Tapu Bulu and my Nidoqueen. And right, okay, I'm getting the brain rolling and stimulating and cognitioning and all of that stuff. So I really like how Nidoqueen and Tapu Bulu work with Trick Room up, and just in general. Tapu Bulu is great because I'm weakening those Earthquakes from Excadrill, which is humongous towards my overall goodness of the team. And I kind of see where this team could be going, but I want to think about it a little bit. So Nidoqueen, Tapu Bulu, Cofag. What kind of set do I want to run with Bulu? It looks like something like Substitute Swords Dance would be very, very strong against him, because the problem with that is that I can't hit the Registeel and the Serena that well. I mean, I can Stone Edge the Serena, but I can't touch up the Reggie too badly, which is a little annoying. But I do have the really good answer to Registeel in my Nidoqueen, so that's definitely a thing I want to consider. I could go like Fight Z on this thing, which would be good. I could go with a Berry. Yeah, I do like the idea of having Z-Move Bulu, but let's just kind of look at what else we want in this team. So Ethan has a very offensive team, and against my team, I think he'll be more inclined to run some offensive stuff. Like, I would be shocked to not see these two, Excadrill and Gigalith. Pheromosa, for the fact that it outspeeds my whole team by a whole lot, and it looks like he can run a plus attack or special attack nature. I definitely think that's something he'll want to bring, and Mega Gardevoir is overall a very big annoying threat to my team, so I definitely could see that coming. I don't know about Entei. It's definitely something that can come, but most of my team can check it to an extent. Vaporeon, he's going to bring like Spadef Vaporeon, Spadef Mega Guard, or Spadef Serena. I'm certain of it, because if he doesn't, then he just gets completely run over by Ashgren. So let's think, how can we take advantage of that? So I want to run Greninja as well. So we're kind of Ashgren, we're kind of running out of spots already, but we've got the Semi-Room idea, and then we've got some more offense. The last two Mons I bring are definitely up in the air. So the reason I like Greninja so much is that Water Sure can help me pick off some of his weakened threats, and if I get into the Ash form, then I really, really do well against his team and hit it super hard. And also Ashgren can get me a lot of momentum, because like I've been saying, he's got three potential switch-ins: Vaporeon and Mega Guard and Serena. I think I think Vaporeon is by far the most likely, because it's the most naturally bulky and it's taking Dark Pulses pretty darn well. So I think I want to run U-turn. I definitely want a Water Shuriken. U-turn Water Shuriken are two moves that are certainly nice. And then Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, I think is my coverage is pretty good. Yeah. Ice Beam, Hydro, not Cannon. I don't want Hydro Cannon. Ice Beam, Hydro Pump. That seems like pretty good coverage to me against his team. Obviously, I'm not hitting the Vaporeon, but I don't think a Dark Pulse is really doing that much. And if I U-turn on a Vaporeon, then I get my Bulu in, and then I can really, really threaten him because he just does not have a lot for it. Yeah, if I can get that in, that's just great. I'm kind of thinking sub with like some sort of berry would be a nice way to go, though he has a lot of ways to hit my thing. However, an overall look is that poison or steel coverage is the way to hit me, but he does have the ability to run like Fly Zed on his Salamence or Supersonic Sky Strike. So he has a lot that pressures the Bulu. However, like I've been saying, under Trick Room, it just destroys his team. And behind a sub, it also has a very good matchup, because if I can get in on the Gigalith, if I can get in on the Vaporeon, then I've just the ability to do a tremendous amount of work. So I think I want to run a substitute 3-attack set. And while Gardevoir can hit me behind that, Gardevoir is a problem, so I'm going to have to install some checks to that. Talonflame is definitely a decent check to it, always. Would it be inclined to run Focus Blast against my team? Hyper Voice, Hyper Voice, Hyper Voice, Psychic move, Hyper Voice, Hyper Voice, Electric move. I don't think he'd want to run Focus Blast against me, so something like Silvally Steel could be a pretty good check to Gardevoir. Though Steel type, aside from that, is not fantastic against him, I do think it has some promise, so we'll keep that in my mind. I will keep that in mind. Yeah, random subs are just a good thing to throw on every now and then. And Stone Edge, Horn Leech, and what was my third move? I can go Mega Horn and hit the Serena, or I can go Superpower and hit the Registeel. That's interesting. So, okay, let's go with Horn Leech, and let's go with Stone Edge. Let's see if there's any other kind of coverage I can afford that would be decent against him. I got some pretty interesting moves, Taunt and Whirlwind. I don't really see it being that useful in this matchup, but you never know. It could. Leafage, because that's a move that exists apparently. Smart Strike doesn't really help me. There we go. Okay. Sub SD. Could I just run Sub SD? Like, I don't think that Serena gets anything that can remotely touch me. Like, let's just see. Steel moves. It gets HP Steel. Flying moves. It gets Acrobatics, but I mean, it's Acrobatics, and he would have to run some sort of item. Poison. He gets, yeah, nothing that really hits me, and its special attack stat is super duper low. So let's just kind of run through this. Yeah, I think Sub SD would just be a really big threat to his team. And then I can, yeah, Sub Swords Dance does not look bad, because this just gives me the breaker that I need that would allow me to really come in with my Greninja, which I like. So yeah, Sub Swords Dance Bulu looks pretty cool, and I think I want to run the Babiri Berry with this thing, though I'm not certain about that because he can definitely run things to hit me. But It's mainly there because it serves as a really nice check to Excadrill, which otherwise could threaten a lot of my team. So I don't know if he'll even want to bring... On one thought, he might not even want to bring Excadrill since I do have so many ways to hit it. So do I want the Kebia Berry or do I want Babiri Berry? Well, first of all, let's just see some things. So I don't want to be slower than... I want to be faster than Vaporeon and Serena outside of Trick Room and slower than the rest of his team under Trick Room, which is definitely doable, aside from like Registeel, which obviously I can't underspeed that if I'm trying to outrun things that are faster than it. So let's just look, because it looks like I don't have to run any speed on my Tapu Bulu, so I can just run max HP. Adamant 252. Iron Head, wow, that just does a ton. It does an absolute load. Yeah, that's a tricky part, because Excadrill is something that could really threaten me late, though having the berry, the poison berry, well, let's just think about this. So what are the things that are going to be hitting me with the poison move? He's going to be doing that with Pheromosa, which Cofagrigus is coming in on. Scolipede, which again, Cofagrigus. Maybe Sneasel? Yeah, I think Babiri Berry is going to be better. For Nidoqueen, do I want to run Life Orb or do I want to run a berry of some sort? And also, what kind of coverage do I need against him? Because I'd love to be able to run like Toxic Spikes against him, because it really weakens his team, though I don't know if I'll be able to afford it. I might just want to run like 3 attacks Rocks. Let's think about some other stuff that we can do. I want to see if Scarf Circuitry outruns Pheromosa, as silly as that sounds, because I think it might not. But I think I don't know. I truthfully do not. So 291 times 1.5. Let's see. 436.5, and this hits 441. Okay. Well, I think that Ethan would want to run enough speed to outrun a Scarfed Circuitry. So that's definitely something to consider, because if I was able to outrun it, then I really can Volt Switch on his team a ton, which would be really good, and get me kind of a Volt Turning Core with my my Greninja. Let's see. This is an interesting matchup, like very volatile, a lot of threats to consider. He has a very dangerous team. So I think that Trick Room aspect is going to be nice. I'm just looking and thinking at the moment. It looks like a Rock Polish Cobalion late game would be a very strong win condition. I have a lot of setup in mind on this team, but I think that's a really nice option against him, because if I Rock Polish, then I'm assuming I can just kind of knock this out with a Stone Edge or something like that. I can Stone Edge. If I weaken this, I can Close Combat it, then Iron Head, and then Close Combat, Stone Edge, Close Combat, CC, CC. Yeah, those 3 coverage moves hit his team perfectly for almost consistent, super effective damage even. So I think Cobalion with a late game set like that would be really good, and I want to see how much Excadrill is going to be doing to it with grassy terrain up. So it can't kill me, which is a really interesting thought. Fight Z. Would I want to run Fight Z? How much is that gonna do to a Vaporeon? Vap with Z. Yeah, Pummel. It just doesn't do enough, is the thing. But I think Choppel would be good. If he wants to run like Focus Blast Thunderous, that gives me an opportunity to set up if High Jump Kick or Focus Blast off his Pheromosa, of course. If he decides to run, High Jump Kick on his Serena. I think this is a pretty decent win condition. Rock Polish, Close Combat, Close Combat, Iron Head, Stone Edge. And I just want to check out damage and things. So let's look. First Mega Gardevoir, he's going to be speed creeping on my current black, most likely. So I can get a little greedy there, it looks like. I don't think I can run Adamant because of that, but I certainly could if I wanted to. Though let's just see, versus Pheromosa. Iron Head does a lot. Stone Edge is going to be a little weaker. Yeah, but I do have, if I'm running Choppel Berry, then I take the hit, and that's if he's Life Orb. I'm taking those hits, and I should be able to outrun a Scarf Pheromosa, which is just ridiculous. I think I can. We'll see. This thing is really, really fast. But if I can outrun it at +1, then I should outspeed it at +2 if he's at +1, because math. And after Stealth Rocks, it's got a chance to knock it out, which isn't horrible. So yeah, this thing looks like a great late game option against him. This isn't looking bad at all. Stealth Rock, but I'm missing something. Like, Gardevoir is very hard to switch into. Of course, I could just go full on hyper offense and say screw it, but I'm not a huge fan of that. If I want to bring Talonflame, then I'm kind of forced to bring Blastoise, and this team isn't hazard weak at all, which makes me want to run some stuff. I actually just want to make this Ashgren so that I can see if it gets spikes, but it does not get toxic spikes. Okay, well, okay. Let's just go back to it being Greninja in case stuff happens. So we've got U-turn, we've got Water, Shuriken, Hydro, and Ice Beam. Yeah. So what are we thinking? I'm kind of having a hard time thinking about this because I don't want to bring Kyurem really, because he has so much that outspeeds it, and he has so much that hits it very hard. Cofagrigus is my only real dependable wall in this game. Nidoqueen's a nice mon, but like Thundurus could get out of hand very quickly. I have 2 mons that outrun it, and all of my team can hit it very, very hard, but I need a little more. So I want to be able to check the Thundurus better. I want to check the Gardevoir a little better. I think I might want to run Payapa Berry on my Nidoqueen for that Gardevoir, just because of how spooky it's looking. Pheromosa, I should be able to check decently with Choppel Berry, with Water Shuriken, and with my Kofag and Nidoqueen. I just have to keep Cofagrigus healthy at all times. What's my best way to... Well, I'm very Thundurus weak. My team is just incredibly Thundurus weak inherently, so it makes me want to run some sort of Silvally form that can deal with that. Just trying to think what can help me with electric spam. So obviously ground Silvally would be pretty nice for that. And how's his team look against ground types? Multi-attack plus Ice Beam hits his team very, very hard. He has a lot of calm and weakness. Do I want to run Silvally ground? That's the question. Of course, that doesn't help me versus like the Gardevoir as well, but once again, I think I might be able to offensively check it. This is definitely a interesting match up. Very, very interesting, because Cobalion can come in and I can play it so that Bulu can do some work against him. Well, if we're trying to get the cogs rolling, I want this team to go together as best as possible. So in order for Gren and Cobalion to sweep him late game, I need to get rid of that bulky core. Now, Tapu Bulu can't really hurt the Registeel that much, but will he bring it? I don't know if he will bring it, is the thing. Because he has so many offensive threats that he can bring, but it's his most reliable rocker, though he can run it on Gigalith. I think the sand offense just looks too good against me to pass up on. And overall, I think this game is just going to be very, very offensive in how it's going to go down. But this last slot could definitely give me some leeway against him, depending. So, right, Nidoqueen just checks, or hits both of Bulu's potential checks really, really hard. I kind of don't want to run SD on this set. I think just like sub with coverage might be better if I'm already rocking a fair bit of setup against him, which, you know, is too bad, but yeah. Let's see, what can we do with this? So I could run Superpower and get some nice damage off on the Registeel. It's just the problem is there's not a ton of coverage that works well. So it's either Superpower or Mega Horn if I want to run sub 3 attacks. I could run Leech Seed. I could run, no, Bulk Up is probably not what I want to go with. Nature's Madness would be like solely for the Registeel, and the thing is, Registeel's a free switch into Nidoqueen, and he struggles to switch into Nidoqueen. In fact, I'm even more convinced that he's going to bring like Spadef Vaporeon, because he needs that for Greninja and Nidoqueen. So that's another thing. I'm torn with this Tapu Bulu set. I guess I should run some calcs to just see, because I'm gonna run like Bulky Band. Let's just say I'm Leech Seed with max HP. Brick Break. Huh, that's an interesting set. Would that even work? Would that work? No, I need Stone Edge. Anyways, so Horn Leech, Stone Edge versus Registeel, which could very well be like physically defensive. Horn Leech just bounces off. However, Superpower. Wow, Superpower does a ton, actually. Let's see if he's impish with the Fizz Defs. Superpower still does a lot of damage, and well, I'm not gonna 2-hit KO it. I'm getting a lot of really nice chip off on it, and it is a free switch into Nidoqueen, which threatens his team. So I think the combination of Nidoqueen Bulu is going to be my best two at being the wall breakers, because the things that are walling Bulu are Registeel and Serena, and like Fizdef Mence and Fizdef Entei, I guess, or Scolipede, and Nidoqueen offensively just shits on them all. It just kills them all. So that's really good. Payapa Berry Nidoqueen just seems too good to pass up on because it helps me check both the Thundurus and the Nidoqueen. And I think I want to run physical Nidoqueen this week just because, well, I think mixed would be an option because Earth Power for the Registeel and then like Thunder Punch to hit the Vaporeon sounds pretty nice. And then I can go Ice Beam. So maybe, but I also want Poison Jab. So let's just see. Vaporeon. I think it'll be like super specially defensive. So if we see that versus a Nidoqueen, I have a lot of Nidoqueen sets. Payapa, and let's just see if I don't know, Rash or something. I'll have to figure out the nature later. Earthquake is doing, that's in grassy terrain. Okay, well that doesn't really do much, but the main thing is Thunder Punch. How much is that going to be doing? It does a lot versus just Thunderbolt. So Thunderbolt does less to an uninvested set. So that's definitely a thing I have to consider. And how much does Poison Jab do? Poison Jab. It does a fair bit, but not the most. Though I shouldn't be. I mean, with Rocks Up, it looks like I can definitely pressure the Vaporeon, which is good. Is there anything I can do with Cofagrigus that would better the matchup with that? T-Spikes? Would he bring Scolipede versus my team? Quite possibly, yeah. It definitely does threaten a lot of my team, and Scolipede and Pheromosa could really overwhelm me if I'm not on my game for it. So I think this game is going to come down to a little bit of actual having to play the match instead of just prepping through it, just because it's a scary matchup. What am I even doing? So I got moves on Mons. I don't have a 5th Mon yet. But Poison Jab, Ice Punch. As much as I want P-Jab, I might just go like Ice Punch, cause this is mainly gonna be here for like the Gardevoir, or not the Gardevoir, but the other thing. Max Attack, Adamant, Thunder Punch also does a lot to Vaporeon, which is really good. Even though he can like wish around me and stuff, that it's still decent damage. Make a guard. I just need to see how much my punches are doing to it, because yeah, Poison Jab is an easy one shot on it. But do I want to go down that route? Oh wait, one thing to consider would be to actually run Golem as a trapper in this game. It's a consideration, not I don't know. It's interesting. It would allow me to run more coverage on my Nidoqueen though, because I can run Stealth Rocks on that. Though that last slot is pretty important. This is not an easy one for sure. So Nidoqueen, well, what do I need to check? I need Ice Punch and I need Thunder Punch, because Thunder Punch lets me hit the Vaporeon and Ice Punch lets me check Mence, lets me check, well, probably not Mence, but lets me hit the Thundurus. It lets me hit this thing. And how much, and if I'm Adamant Max Attack, it's doing about half to Gardevoir. And if he's that offensive set, and if he's not Wish, then like Gren with, I don't want to run choice specs, so let's just say I'm Life Orb right now. Life Orb, Hydro Pump plus Thunder Punch can knock that thing out, which is cool. Copalion, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, and then just Earth Power, I think, for the coverage slot. Or even, Four Move Slot Syndrome. It's a nasty thing to deal with. It is definitely nasty. What about like, well, Rock Slide's got the same power as my punches. If I'm running superpower on this thing, then I'm still chipping away at the Registeel, so that's okay with me. And it's more important to just get Nidoqueen in there and hit his team really hard. So at the moment, I think I'm gonna do something that might be a little bit on the silly side, and I don't know, that ground coverage is so good versus team. Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Earth Power. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Earth Power in the last slot, just because it's still doing a lot to Excadrill and the like. And I can probably run like Quiet with some speed, just so I can outrun the Vaporeon. Let's just look. Defensive, so if I'm Quiet versus a Vaporeon, I'm still fat. Without any investment, I'm still faster than it, which is what I want. And that's good. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting set. Also Cofagrigus, I keep forgetting that that's a huge win condition, that his check is Sneasel because it's a dark type and it's his only ghost resist, but just Calm Minding up and then being able to Trick Room and is just such a menace to him late game. I really like that. Let's see. I kind of like the idea of like a Scarfed Greninja, because that gives me a way to outrun the Pheromosa. And I might want to do like Scarf with Shuriken anyways, so that of course leaves me open to some stuff. But if he's Adamant Drill, I can outrun him if he's Adamant Understand, I can outrun him with a Scarf Gren, which he may or may not know. He'll know now if he watches this. Right, so I also need to decide on the last member. So I don't think I can bring Talonflame just because of the fact that he has like, I don't have removal for it. So that makes me want to bring, candidates would be Silvally. Also Kyurem just really does, Kyurem can just kind of kill him on, which would be good. Kyurem is a candidate for that slot. Blastoise too. I'm thinking, yeah, because Blastoise really, it gives me a secondary check to Excadrill. It gives me another check to Mence, possibly if I'm bulky enough. It gives me an Entei check. It gives me something that's just not going to die to most of his team. And I think I have, yeah, I think I want to run Blastoise as my last Mon. So let's go Torrent, because there's no way that Rain is ever coming up. And do I even need Spin? Yeah, Spin is nice, unless I decide that I really don't want it and I need the coverage. Let's look at what kind of coverage we need. So obviously a Water Stab is good. And then ice coverage is good, and then so I can water this, I can ice. I cannot touch this at the moment. Water move, ice move, ice move, water move for some damage, water, 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 water. So I cannot touch the Vaporeon. And my team is not weak to hazards. Would he spike stack me though? That's the danger that I don't want to have to deal with. And could I possibly run like Toxic for the Vaporeon? Because that would definitely hinder its ability to be an annoyance. I think with this kind of set, yeah, double water is pretty enticing versus his team. So we want Ice Beam. If I can, I'm really relying on Bulu to just pressure that Vaporeon. So I want to run. You know what? I don't know. Here's an idea. Having a sub up against him really does force his hand, and I don't think I can't live a thing, but what about, not submission, what about sub Toxic Mega Blastoise with Skull? Sub Ice Beam Skull Toxic, because that lures in the Vaporeon and lets me annoy it. It makes Registeel complete fodder for me. It gives me a free sub when Entei comes in. It kind of lures out the Gardevoir, which would be good to get damage off on it. And with Grassy Terrain up, I just wall out the Excadrill completely, which is great. So with that in mind, I think this is a pretty interesting idea, because it's very bulky. I'm pretty sure I can live a hit from Thundurus if he's not like gonna go for the Electrium Z, Gigavolt Havoc or whatever. Blastoise, Mega, Bold. So I can live a hit if I'm max HP, which is cool. Obviously no Wish isn't great, but I got a little recovery back from the terrain, and it definitely does pressure his team into doing certain things. So I'm pretty sure that I can, let's see if I can take like a hit from the Blastoise or something like that, because I definitely expect Zed Fly, and at +1 I can take that hit. Does anything on my team really allow it to set up? Not especially. And of course, under Trick Room, this is another mon that's a huge menace to him. So I've only got one Trick Room setter, which isn't ideal for a great Trick Room team, but we're gonna go with it. Yeah, the defensive prowess of this mon is super, super good against him. Is there anything else I'd want to run over Substitute? Maybe just having Aurasphere wouldn't be bad, so that I can just hit the things that I want to hit for some good hard damage. Because yeah, taking a lot of chip damage is something Blastoise is good at. So I think Toxic 3 attacks wouldn't be awful. Yeah, because that once I Toxic the Vaporeon, then I can hit it pretty hard with Aurasphere. and get the chip because I want my Greninja or my Cobalion to win late because I've said it a ton that he's weak to them. So I'm going to run I want defensive so that I can take some hits from his team. It's like getting swept by him is not on my agenda. So, obviously if rocks are up, which rocks are going to be up, so I just want to guarantee that I can live the hit. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's going to run Jolly. So let's just see, 128, something like that. Huh, almost right there. This means that he has, what about after like a sandstorm hit? How much does Sandstorm do? I don't know, let's just see. How much does Pheromosa do against me? So High Jump Kick still does just a ridiculous amount against me, which is horrifying. I can't speed check it just because it's so fast and it can boost its speed, though he very well could run like Adamant or something, but I can take a High Jump Kick from this thing. I can take a not +2, I can take a +1 High Jump Kick from this thing. I'd like to take one after rocks if at all possible. Let's just see if I can. It's a chance. Should I just run fully Fizz Def? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll just run Fizz Def, make a Blastoise. So it's not ideal. I'd like to have some offense, but it's still a very strong Mon. And if he wants to speed creep me with his thingy, then I don't really care if the grass thing, the Serena, comes. Is it? It's kind of a threat to the team, but Kofag can check it, so most likely bringing like Fizz Def on this as well, and that sort of thing. Do I want to underspeed the Gigalith or do I want to outspeed it? That's probably not super relevant, but that's weird. That's weird to think about. Anyways, I want a just like super physically defensive one of these guys, and I also want to see if I can make it take. I want to see how much Kofag is taking from this thing. Offensive Trick Room. So those moves, if I'm just max HP, it's not doing a ton. And Power Dark. If he is max special attack, can I take one? Yeah, I can. Let's put enough Spadef so that I can take like a +1 HP Dark after Rock, because that seems like a pretty decent benchmark. So after Rocks, 6.3%. Alright, so yeah, 88 in Spadef. So that would give me a nice deal with that, and then just the rest into defense and make it bold and brash. Do I want to underspeed the Gigalith? Nah, because I can set up on the Gigalith outside of Trick Room, and then I can call mine up against it and then Trick Room, though you could definitely have like Toxic or something. Okay, so we've got our 6, we've got movesets on all 6 of our Mons. So let's get this team ironed out, okay? With Gren, how much am I doing with an unboosted? Let's just see, Greg. Unboosted, how much is Water Shuriken doing? With 3 hits, it's doing 50% guaranteed. With 2 hits, it does a little less. Do I need Life Orb to knock it out? And also, if I'm Ash form, because that's like important, do I just kill it with Shuriken? Oh my, I certainly do. I don't even need it. Oh, it boosts its power too. Huh. I didn't know that. That's cool. So do I even need an item to knock it out? Because my idea is to run Splash Plate on this thing. Yeah, Splash Plate guarantees me that I knock it out if I'm in Ash form, and I kind of like that because I don't want to take Life Orb, and this lets me mimic being like, well, he won't know what I am if I'm Splash Plate until he looks, and then versus Excadrill, it just drops, which is great. If I'm not in Ash form, of course, it's going to be doing a little less. Greg's Splash Plate. Water Shuriken does quite significantly less with 3 hits, but if I get like 5, I actually can knock him out, guaranteed, after a little hazards damage, which I think is cool. So, hit 122 speed. What am I outrunning? Sneasel? Sneasel is going to be creeping on my Cobalion, so let's just see what that's going to look like. Cobalion, Sneasel, 361, so it should go down to 347. Yes, so I'm going to hit 348 with this. Just let's see if I can run Modest from 348. Nope, cannot do it. I could also just not care about the Sneasel, because, I mean, it's a Sneasel. And let's just see, Gren with the Splash Plate. If I'm Modest, it just knocks it out with the Hydro Pump. When you're in the Sneasel, he could. I mean, Modest Splash Plate is going to look like I am Specs. Oh wait, I definitely, well, is even outrunning the Scolipede important? If he's not Protect, then I guess it is. So, unfortunately, I think we'll just play it safe and outrun a max speed Sneasel, because HP on Greninja doesn't matter all that much. 362, because we don't want it taking hits. So, I have to hit 363, so 200, and then that, and then just a little into HP, because U-turn is not meant to do damage, it's there to get me momentum. Though I'm curious, what does U-turn do to Sneasel? U-turn, so timid. If I'm naive, hey, it does a little more. Will it matter? Probably not. It does a little more to like Vaporeon, naive. Like, I think he's not going to be any bit Fizz Def versus me. Yeah, so naive versus timid. It doesn't matter. Let's just run timid so I don't lower my defenses, because I don't know. I guess taking like, yeah, E-speeds or any sort of priority is just good to have a little tiny bit of extra bulk in case I super need it. So that's Gren. Bulu, I'm just going to run max HP, because that's kind of all I need. This thing really pressures his team. Gren really pressures his team. I really enjoy Greninja. Cobalion, he's got base 101, Thunderous T, so we want to outspeed that. 332 is what we will hit. Jolly, even though I am Rock Polish, I still want to be able to outspeed stuff prior to it. So let's just do that. Blastoise, we're just running max, which isn't my favorite always, but we got a little more in depth with that. And I just want this so that I can take hits from a few of his things. His good as I can. And then with this, I want to run like max HP, max attack with the brave nature, because I want to hit that Vaporeon for a lot of damage so that I can prevent it from wish passing into other stuff and hopefully catch it on a switch with a 2-hit KO. That'd be a good deal. So that's a team. This took an hour. So this could be a very, very long video. Let's just get these nicknames done and snack with shell. Yeah. I don't have a nickname for Cobalion. That's unfortunate. I'll have to think of it. Greninja is, of course, Greg. Tapu Bulu is Brazy, because he is Brazy. This is Zipointy Doggo. This is Kofag is Pedo Bob, because yeah, shout out Shoddy for this nickname. I stole it from him. And Koba, let's go with dang, I'm stumped. I don't have any silly nicknames. Well, I can just always go with the let's go with Fluffy Doggo. Yeah. Okay, that's a team. I'll look it over and see if there's anything I want to change before the battle. But yeah, that's the thing. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Okay, and we're back for the battle. It's been almost a week now since I built my team, which is a little weird, but that's just kind of how the scheduling went. So I'm just going to go over it really quick. So we have physically bulky with some Spadef, Cofagrigus with Trick Room and Calm Mind. I don't believe he has any kind of ghost immunity. Payapa Berry mixed Nidoqueen with its Brave, but I still outspeed Vaporeon, which is cool. Babiri Berry substitute 3 attacks, Tapu Bulu meant to abuse Trick Room, a Splash Plate Greninja. I believe this can Oko Pheromosa with Water Shuriken if I get into Ash form. Rock Polish, Chople, Cobalion, so that's the win condition late, and then Fizz Def, Toxic, Blastoise is kind of a lure and stuff. So let's challenge him and see what goes on. So yeah, it's been a little bit since I've built the team. Not extraordinarily confident in this matchup, but we'll see what we can do with it. And the team I see is very interesting. So there's no Pheromosa. Let me just double check to see what else he didn't bring. I don't believe I see an Entei. Yeah. I forget what his team is in its entirety. He's okay, so Pheromosa, Thundy T, so neither of those, no Serena, no okay, he does have Salamence, no Registeel, which is good, no Entei, no Sneasel, so I'm okay with this matchup. What it looks like, so I think I was correct in bringing Payapa Berry on my Nidoqueen because for that Gardevoir. I don't have a way to hit it super effectively, but Nidoqueen really pressures his team, and it looks like his switch-in is going to be his Vaporeon, so I should be able to get some nice damage off. And it looks like something I can just lead off with, in all honesty, though. It's a little predictable. It would be pretty nice to lead with to get some serious damage on his team. So yeah, let's do that. Let's get it going. So he does have this as his lead, and depending on his set, I believe I could just 2-hit KO him right here. Nidoqueen, Pointy Doggo versus Vaporeon. If he's physically defensive, I can't 2-hit KO him, but I think he might be more specially defensive. Anyways, I want to... This is kind of an awkward lead matchup. How much is he going to do with Scald? Scald does a fair bit to me. I kind of just want to... Do I want to risk it all turn 1? Not exactly. Looking at it, my Cofagrigus is... It's useful for his Scolipede, but I do have my Blastoise as a backup check to that. And nothing on his team really wants to switch into my Blastoise that much, so I'm just going to hard into it. This might look a little weird. Okay, he's just gonna Scald. Don't burn me. He burns me. That's annoying. The damage probably doesn't tell me a whole lot. Just max HP, 12%, yeah. That's annoying, but I'm just gonna drop a Toxic on him right here, and we're gonna miss. Really? We are going to miss, and that's annoying. Well, I'm just gonna Toxic again here because like, I can't imagine he's just gonna go into this, as he is going to show Baton Pass. So that's good to know. And we get the Vaporeon poison, which is extremely important. So he's gonna go into this, and this is a very big threat to the team. One that I don't have a real switch into. That's not fantastic. Can my Nidoqueen take Hyper Voice into Psyshock? I didn't. Into Psychic move. I didn't check that, but I should. Versus Gardevoir Mega. So that lost me a fair bit of momentum. So that looks like it's not gonna 2-hit KO me, but I don't want to hard switch into it. I think the better play would to just Toxic this thing. So I think I'm gonna do that and hope he's not sub. Yeah, that's definitely offensive looking, and I get the Toxic off, which is nice. So that's going to help me out in the long run. I'm just gonna double check this damage. Hyper Voice did to my Blastoise Mega. That did 52, so it looks like he's offensive. Could it be Modest? I don't think so. No, he's certainly not Modest, and he's certainly not like... Oh, let's just see. He could potentially be max bulk, but I don't think he is. And Blastoise has kind of just done what I needed it to do, so I'm going to Scald here, as he did just go for the Psyshock. I did pretty much expect that. And now I can go into Nidoqueen, and it's definitely one thing to note is that late game Cofagrigus is very strong against him, and I think the first step in that is to threaten this thing out. He knows, by me bringing this in, he knows that I'm Pyapa Berry, and I can't imagine that he would want to let this thing go down. Like, there's no way that he's gonna stay in here, I feel like. So I'm gonna Stealth Rock, and and he does go out into his Vaporeon. So what I'm gonna do now is Thunder Punch this thing, because if I can weaken this, then Greninja just runs his team over. So we're gonna do that. Thunder Punch goes off. He is Wakanberry, interestingly enough. So we get some nice damage off. 27%. He's gonna go into the Excadrill. Alright, now this is an interesting ordeal right now. Exca comes out, so I need to check that damage off on his Gardevoir, or on the Vaporeon. Why did he have that? So with the Wakanberry, it did 27, so he's mixed. He's some sort of mixed bulk, it looks like, but he's definitely not max, which is good to know. And right here, I can't imagine he'd want to spin, so I'm just gonna go out into my Bulu. I mean, if he Iron Heads, then yeah, then he would Iron Head, but I didn't think he was going to do that. So I'm gonna get some recovery, and I'm just gonna make the safe play right here and click Horn Leech, because I can switch into the Scolipede, but I can't switch into this Excadrill well. And if he like flinches me, or he has Poison Jabs, then that's the thing, I guess. I really want to click sub. Okay, he did just go for the Iron Head. Can we please not get flinched? Can we please? Really? Are you? This is not fair. This is very unfair. So what I'm gonna have to do here is I really don't want to sack off my Tapu Bulu. So what I'm going to do here is go out into my Cobalion, because I have the terrain up, and yeah, Iron Head comes out, and what I'm going to do here is fire off a... His switch-in is his Salamence or Scolipede, so I'm going to Stone Edge right here. He is going to go into his Vaporeon, interestingly, and I can just knock this thing out with another Stone Edge and then get back up to full, which would be great. Well, I'm gonna click Stone Edge and yeah, hope that he lived and he baton passed. What are these rolls? What is this luck? This is very, very annoying. I can still win. I still can. I know I can still win, but this is just being very annoying. So he's gonna go into Gigalith here, and I'm just going to Iron Head this thing and try and flinch him. Yeah, let's do it. Flinch, no flinch. That's annoying. It's unfortunate, but looking at it now, my Greninja has a great chance of winning this game, which is fantastic. So I'm going to Iron Head again. He's going to go and sack off his Vaporeon, which is okay, as the Iron Head fails, and that's also fine. And he's just going to go back into Excadrill. So my biggest win condition is this Cobalion, and I can just sack off my Bulu right here because I don't especially need it. And I do have my Gren, which can just pressure his team to high heavens, so we're going to go ahead and do this. So let's just go sack the Bulu. I don't want to, but I kind of have to. And okay, he's going to go for that play, which, you know, it's okay. I can deal with this because I've got my he's just gonna Earthquake. Wow. I have my Greninja, which can come in now and click Water Shuriken, and I just have to hope this kills, basically. Let's just look. Greninja, yeah, versus Excadrill. Offensive Spinner, Shuriken. Oh boy, I have to get some rolls in my favor. I don't like that one bit. Come on, can we get this? Nope. No, and this is very unfortunate. Basically, I have to hope that I have to Trick Room right here. Basically, that's my play. I have to Trick Room, and hopefully I don't get flinched. Please do not flinch me. Are you kidding me? No, this is impossible. No. I don't know what to say. I have not had a single thing go my way in this game. I cannot do a goddamn thing about this. Let's think. Can my Cobalion win? Well, I'm gonna click Trick Room right here in case he doesn't kill me for some reason. But this is turned into a very difficult match because of what's gone down. I'm gonna go into Nidoqueen, and he's gonna go into this. All right, I'm gonna Ice Punch here. Ice Punch 100%'s the play. And actually, Cobalion still can win, it looks like. I think Cobalion can win, which would be just... that would be cake. Or that would be amazing for me, but it's going to depend. This game is just obscene. Okay, he's gonna Sky Strike me. Can I take this? I can. Thank you. Throwing me a bone, at least. He's gonna go into Scolipede, and I'm going to click Earth Power here. I cannot let him set up. He has Aqua Tail. Well, my only play is to hit a Stone Edge right here. I have to hit a Stone Edge. I don't think Earthquake can knock me out. Wait, what? He has Aqua Tail. Or he only has Aqua Tail. I miss. I have to hit the Stone Edge. If I can do that, I win. Come on. Game. Come on, game. Game. Fuck. Okay. Well, I just won this game, I think, and I don't know how, but I did. I'm sorry, this has been an absolutely awful recording, but somehow, well, let's just see. Somehow we win this game after getting hacked beyond belief, and I have nothing to say. Oh, what did I do? Yeah, I got very, very upset there, like really salty. But that was a game that was obscene in many ways, but somehow we managed to win because I prepped well for it, I guess. Even though my Tapu Bulu got flinched. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I missed the Toxic. And then my Bulu got flinched, my Kofag got flinched, and then I missed those two Stone Edges, and like it was unlikely that I'd get rolls in my favor for the Greninja, but who knows. Yeah, this was a clusterfuck of a game. I'm sorry if you watched this, but I hope you guys at least enjoyed the team builder part of it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.